Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, whose life am I actually living? You wake up, go through the motions, say what's expected, smile when you're supposed to, and yet something inside you whispers, this isn't me. It's not just stress. It's not just fatigue. It's disconnection. Carl Jung believed that this quiet unease is not a coincidence. It's a warning, a call from the depths of your soul, urging you to wake up before it's too late. Because the scariest thing isn't dying. It's never truly living. Let's talk about the truth almost no one dares to face. You might not know who you really are. Since you were a child, you've been shaped. Parents told you how to behave. Teachers taught you what to think. Society showed you who you should be. And slowly, without noticing, you began to wear a mask. Carl Jung called it the persona, the version of yourself you created to fit in, to be accepted, to survive. It's the you who smiles at work even when you're breaking inside. The you who hides your doubts, your fears, your anger. The you that plays a role so well, you start to forget it's just a role. At first, the persona protects you. But over time, it becomes a prison. And one day, you wake up, and the real you, the authentic, wild, imperfect, powerful you, is nowhere to be found. But where did that self go? It didn't vanish. It went underground. Jung called this hidden part of you the shadow, everything you've buried because someone once told you it was too much, wrong, or unacceptable. That anger you suppressed, that creativity you were told was childish, that deep sensitivity you hid to seem tough, they're not gone. They're just in the dark, waiting. And when we ignore the shadow, it doesn't disappear. It controls us from behind the scenes. Sudden bursts of rage, deep envy, repeated self-sabotage. All signs that your shadow is driving the car, and you're asleep in the passenger seat. But here's the twist. Your shadow is not your enemy. It holds your truth, your deepest wounds, and your greatest gifts. Facing it is terrifying, but it's also the first step toward wholeness. And Jung gave this journey a name, individuation. Not just self-discovery, but self-integration, becoming real, becoming whole. Because let's be honest, have you ever achieved something you thought would make you happy, and still felt empty? A job, a partner, approval, recognition, but inside, something was still missing. That's because the real answer isn't out there. It's within, beneath the persona, behind the shadow. At the core of your being, there's something Jung called the self, your true essence. And you won't find it through more success or being liked by everyone. You find it by facing what you've avoided, by questioning the roles you play, by peeling away what isn't truly you. This journey isn't easy. Most people will never take it. They'll live their whole lives following scripts written by others. They'll laugh when they're supposed to, say what's safe, do what's expected, and then they'll die, without ever meeting themselves. But you still have time. You can start now. Start by asking, how many of my beliefs are truly mine? How many of my choices were made out of fear, not freedom? How often do I silence myself just to be accepted? These questions are uncomfortable, but they open the door. And once you open that door, you begin to notice something else. There are invisible forces shaping your behavior, your thoughts, even your dreams. Jung called these forces archetypes, universal patterns we all carry inside us. The hero, the caregiver, the rebel, the sage. These aren't just characters in movies. They live in you. They guide how you react to love, to failure, to change. And unless you recognize them, they'll run your life, without you even knowing. That's why some people always play the martyr. Why others constantly chase approval. Why we keep repeating the same patterns over and over again. But when you become aware of these archetypes, when you understand the masks, confront the shadow, and start listening to your inner self, everything changes. You stop chasing other people's definitions of success. You stop apologizing for your feelings. You stop living someone else's life. And you begin, finally, to live your own. But beware. If you avoid this journey, if you ignore the signs, suppress your truth, and cling to the comfort of your persona, there's a price. Emptiness, resentment, anxiety that never fully goes away, a quiet sense that no matter what you do, something essential is missing. That is the cost of living disconnected from your soul. The truth is, becoming yourself isn't about becoming better. It's about becoming real. It's about dropping the act, letting go of who you think you're supposed to be, and embracing who you truly are, even the parts that scare you. Because only when you embrace the whole of yourself can you finally be free. Jung didn't promise this path would be easy, but he promised it would be worth it. So I'll leave you with this. You weren't born to play a role. You were born to become yourself. And now, the only question that matters is, are you ready to begin? If this message resonated with something deep inside you, consider subscribing. Not for more content, but for more of you. Because this channel isn't just about psychology. It's about waking up to your truth, to your soul, to your life. Welcome to the journey.